We're going to be, as Heather, who you just heard from, is going to be leading the meeting. We're going to try to be as efficient as we can. You know, it's a busy time for the print industry, but there's a lot of good, important content in this presentation that will help you as you go through the open enrollment process. And whether you're here as a current customer of ours, whether you're already enrolled in our insurance program, or if you're just giving it a look, we do appreciate the time. We appreciate the vote of confidence. And hopefully we can either continue or start to help you with your health insurance solutions for your employees. Obviously, that's a very important part of running your business, a very important benefit for your team. So that I'll turn it back over to Heather, and we'll start diving into the slides. So Heather, I'll give the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Heather, and I will be helping with the enrollment this year. And this is my coworker, boss, Annette Herman. She'll be talking a little bit later about our PNC products. Let's just go ahead and get dived into, and we'll go over both of the health plans. So let's dive into the two health plans that we offer. We have Kaiser Permanente, and we have our Freedom Plan. The Kaiser is an HMO. Just to give you a little bit of information on how an HMO works, it requires you to pick a primary care physician, typically has lower premiums, network providers are available to coordinate your care, and referrals are needed. The Freedom Plan is our preferred provider organization, most common, see in the network without a referral, generally more comprehensive and a little bit more flexible. Things to consider when looking at health insurance plans. Number one would be premiums, 2, deductibles, out-of-pocket expensive, co-pays, provider network, flexibility, and pharmaceutical coverage. I have Jessica on the line, but I'll go over Kaiser Permanente, just a little bit about them. It's an HMO plan is based on a network of hospitals and doctors, healthcare providers that agree and coordinate within a network for a payment rate for the same services. And HMO generally covers care received from the plan's contracted providers known as in-network. It's a great plan because everybody coordinates and all your records and everything are all kept together. Jessica, do I have you on the line?
I am here.
Okay, I'll let you take it from here.
All right. And the next slide. Did you want to touch on this one? Okay. So good afternoon. So as Heather mentioned, Kaiser Permanente is an HMO. We have been around for 75 years. And what makes us a little bit different is that you can receive care for a number of different services, all under one roof. So you can see your PCP, you can see a specialist, you can receive your labs and x-rays, you can even pick up your pharmacy. And additionally, you can have virtual care. So all of the physicians, everyone who works for Kaiser Permanente is our employees. So there's a lot of costs that have been cut out simply because we're all part of one KP. Next slide. In Georgia, we have 26 medical facilities. We are in 28 counties. And then we have 18 hospital partners. And I just want to touch a little bit on the hospital partners. That would include Emory University Hospital Midtown, Emory St. Joseph Hospital, Northside Hospital, CHOA, and Piedmont Athens Regional Center. Urgent care is available at the Southwood, Town Park, Gwinnett, and then at community affiliated urgent care centers as well. Next. So if you're traveling and you're outside the state of Georgia, you can see on this map, you will have access to Kaiser Permanente in our regions. They are the blue states that are highlighted here. However, If you're not in those states, you will have access to the Cigna PPO network, or you can utilize urgent care through Concentra or the Minute clinics. Next. So as mentioned before, you can have your visit virtually, and that is the way it seems everything is going since COVID. So you can have an e-visit, you can have a phone appointment, you can have access to email your doctor directly, of course, a video visit, and then you can also have mail order pharmacy. You can do that through online or through the app. And on the right-hand side, you'll see just numbers for each of the regions, and you can go to kp.org to find more information. Next. So the app is really, really convenient. For all of you who are members and have set up an account, it has to be done through kp.org before you can access the app. For the new members, if you do enroll, you'll want to set up your account online. And then when you do download the app, you're able to schedule appointments. You have video visits from your phone, of course, email your doctor. You can see your test results, order prescriptions. You can view and pay bills through the app. You can find locations, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a number of different benefits that a lot of times are overlooked, and there are no cost to members. So through COVID, mental health has been a challenge, and so we have these apps. It's the Calm app and the My Strength. Both of those are all self-care resources that you can utilize from your phone. The Ginger app is one of our most recent apps that we just rolled out a few months ago. This app provides 24/7 emotional support, and you can talk with someone who about challenges that you have, and get just personalized, interactive communication directly from somebody through the app. You also have access to gym memberships for as low as $25. You also have access to digital workout videos online, and there is no contracts associated with it. You can find more information about this, as well as Calm and My Strength and Ginger, all on kp.org.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. Did you want to talk a little bit about the rate increase? And I don't believe there were any plan changes this year.
There are no plan changes. So the 3 plans that were offered last year are offered this year as well.
Okay. And the rate change, did we say that was somewhere around 9% this year increase?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right, great. All right, we can talk about Freedom now. Imagine 360. You go to the next slide.
Great. I guess that's me. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carlos Calderon. I'm from Imagine 360. So this should sound familiar just because there was, obviously, you did have the multi-plan Freedom plans the past 2 years. But again, there's going to be a slight new name that you hear is Imagine 360. And that is really because it's going to make it easier for you as ELAP and GPA integrate into one company called Imagine 360. So Now you no longer have to go to both companies depending on what's going on. There should be a seamless transition now into going to one, and you'll get a lot more of that. So MultiPlan is the physician and ancillary network that you have in place and will continue to have in place during those Freedom plans. It is a PPO network, but again, it is for only physicians and ancillary, not for facility. So unlike HMO, you do not need a referral to seek care from a specialist. You can go to any specialist you like with no referral needed. You can go to the next slide. So we're going to go over the 5 plans. So all 5 plans are still being offered, but there is a slight change. Really, it's a slight change in the deductible increasing. And then also it looks like, I believe the hospital copay also increased slightly. So again, if you look at the 35 to 1,000 plan, it is now moving up to 1,250 for your deductible with a 350 hospital. And then for the 40, same thing, it just increased by 250 on the deductible and increased by $50 on that copay for the hospital. Still have copays for your RX, and then you actually just pay a small deductible on the specialty RX. Next slide. So continuing the theme with both plans, it's essentially just kind of keeps creeping up depending on which plan you select. It's either a little slight increase in the copay stays at $45, but a slight increase of $250 on the deductible and a $50 on the copayment for the hospital. So again, everything's fairly seamless on all 5 plans. It's the same increase on each 5 plans, but all 5 plans are still in place. On the next slide, you'll see the HSA plan still being offered as well. And so, as I mentioned, this one actually did increase slightly more than 250. It was, I think, 500 on that one. So just a note of that one increased slightly more. It's going to be the cheaper option on your premium, just because, again, you will be responsible for all of it up until you hit your deductible when the plan takes over. There are no co-payments other than for the hospital and for your RX, I apologize. But for medical, for doctor visits, you will be responsible for those doctor visits until your deductible is met. Next slide. So your health plan, as I mentioned, we're going to start making it a little more seamless to get questions answered, make it a little easier for you not to have to remember so many names. It's going to be Imagine 360, where your health plan in place to run all 5 of those options. So you'll be calling Imagine 360. It's one number on that ID card that you can go to have all your questions answered. And again, we're putting a lot of effort into that integration along with technology and a new portal that you'll have access to that, again, should make us all better consumers of healthcare. Next slide. So as I kind of already alluded to, there's going to be one phone number to call. So that's going to be where you go to if you have questions on your benefits, if you want to see, if you didn't receive an explanation of benefits, if you need to find a provider, they can assist you find a provider within MultiPlan, or we can also reach out to a provider that's not in MultiPlan. The great thing about this Freedom plan is you do have freedom of care. So you are allowed to go to wherever you like. There is no benefit tier of in and out of network. We're going to treat it all within network. The only difference, obviously, is if you're going to a provider that's not within MultiPlan, it might take, especially if it's your first visit, it might take an additional educational step just because some front desk representatives might be slightly confused. Although, again, in your market, we've been around for a pretty long time doing reference-based pricing or this type of model. So again, it shouldn't be completely new. Most front desk representatives don't give much pushback, especially if all of you have already been going there. There isn't really much change to your plan. You can continue to let them know there are no changes and you can continue to go forward. Next slide. So member guidance, we do have 15 years in business. So we have collected a lot of data to be able to, again, put it at your fingertips. So within that portal, you'll have a tool called Guide Services. You can actually look at hospitals, facilities, and it'll show you our historical acceptance, our quality scores, our pricing on all of those providers. So again, we want you to more focus in on that quality score and not necessarily the pricing or historical acceptance. We want you to choose the best provider for you. But again, this will give you all of that information at the fingertips. And also when you call into Imagine 360, we have all of this data for the individuals that will be assisting you. So they'll be able to properly guide you to the best provider. Next slide. No, we take care of you throughout your healthcare journey. So we have disease management care, health management and wellness, utilization of management and benefit review, and that is also with transition of care, and then also your pharmacy management. So everything's all in-house with Imagine 360. So again, you want to be able to reach out to us. We'll be able to walk you through. I know you have a great team with Evie and everyone that you guys work with as well within the group. So again, they work closely with our team as well in case that's where you feel more comfortable. But again, all of this is at your fingertips. If you want to reach out to us, that number will be on your ID card. Next slide. So multi-plan. So again, I want to make sure we focus in on how to find a provider within multi-plan. You are not, as I mentioned earlier, tied to this network. It just, again, alleviates maybe a possible 1 or 2 questions up front. And then again, there will not be any balance bills either. So within this model, since there are no contracts and we are reviewing and auditing those claims, which I'll go into a little bit more in depth later in the presentation about price protection, there is a possibility of a balance bill, although it is fairly low within the entire organization. I believe it's around 5%. And really that's being driven a little bit by facility. It's only 1% on the physician side. So the majority of your providers are not balance billing, even when you go outside of multi-plan. But again, if you feel more comfortable, you can go to multiplan.com. You'll click on find a provider. You'll choose the multi-plan network along with practitioner and ancillary as a subcategory. And then from there, you can search within your zip code, within a specialist within that zip code. And then it'll also give you all of the providers in that area, along with if they're accepting new patients. Or you can, again, look up your specific provider. If your provider is not on there, there is a button towards the bottom that is states that you can nominate a provider. Once you put in all their information, then they'll start that process to try and get them into the multi-plan network. So as I mentioned, there's going to be a new portal and app. It's mybenefits.imagine360.com. So this is going to be your new portal. I believe the app is actually i360 My Benefits, so not the full Imagine 360. I just want to point that out because I know I've looked it up before and I don't want to confuse anyone. So again, this is where you'll find all of your information. It'll tell you all of your accumulators for how much you've met your deductible. It'll give you all of your claims, all of your children's and dependents claims. You can download a temporary ID card. You can request a new ID card. On the app, you can actually pull up an ID card in case you forgot it, or if you have a child that forgot theirs and they're off in college and they need access. So again, everything at your fingertips on the mobile app along with the member portal. Next slide. So understanding your benefits ID card. So it's a standard ID card. Most members should understand it. It's the same ID cards that you've had with any other plan. We just like to make sure that we're educating you guys in case a provider ever asks you anything, which they shouldn't, but you'd be surprised. So again, just always make sure you're bringing your ID card, present it at the check-in, encourage the office to call the provider number that's listed on the back of your ID card. So all of the information that your provider and your pharmacies need is on the back of the ID card. They should be calling it anyway to verify benefits, to understand if you have co-payments, deductibles on that specific service. So that way they understand how to bill you. But again, prior to or proactively, if this is your first time visiting a provider, you can always reach out to us, let them know that you have an appointment at a certain provider, and just to make sure that they paved the way. That way there's no surprises when you get into the office. Next slide. Understanding your explanation of benefits. So an EOB, you should be receiving it currently from GPA. If you are on one of these freedom plans, you'll be receiving it from Imagine 360 moving forward. And again, it'll just exactly break down exactly what that date of service was, who was the provider, how much they attempted to bill. And then really the part you want to focus on is that box to the bottom right, which is your patient responsibility. So it's important to understand what you owe, because again, since there is no contract and we're reviewing a lot of your claims, especially on the facility side, we don't want you to ever pay anything above your explanation of benefits. So again, if you receive an explanation of benefits, it should match your bill, which is the majority of the time. But in the cases that it doesn't, we want to make sure you take action and let us know. But again, that bottom right, it says total due to provider, that $836.23. That is what you pay to that provider. Anything additional would come to Imagine 360. And again, I'll kind of focus in on that in a few slides. Next slide. UCM Digital Health. So United Concierge Medicine is actually a form of telemedicine. It's our partner that we work with over at Imagine 360. Again, it's a terrific service. If any of you have had to use telemedicine, I think a lot of people started going that way, especially after the pandemic. Again, it's a great form of care because all you have to do is just contact them. They'll be able to treat you at your home or in the middle of the night if your child's sick. They'll be able to send medicine right to your local pharmacy if needed once they actually look over, and they can also triage you if they need an additional service or treatment. They can find the local provider and contact them ahead of time. So again, they're going to do a lot of services right at that time. So I want to make sure that you take advantage of this service because again, it is provided to you by your plan. And I think a lot of people always kind of forget, especially after open enrollment, not using this. So, next slide. So I think I actually touched on a little bit of this. Again, who is Imagine 360? Imagine 360 is your third-party administrator. We're administering the plan, so we're the ones paying the claims, sending your explanation of benefits, answering customer service questions. We're also reviewing those claims to ensure that you're not paying an overpriced amount. And also we're making sure that those balance bills are get resolved and taken care of. So who is Imagine 360? We're not the insurance company. I think a lot of times members want to get confused and they automatically go, oh, Imagine 360 is who I have. And a doctor's going to look at you or that front desk representative and they might be slightly confused. When they ask who your insurance, they just want to know what network you're using. So you would, again, tell them I have MultiPlan, which is a national network. But again, if you have any questions, Imagine 360 is listed on your ID card. Our number is on there and we'll be able to answer any of those questions as well. Next slide. So questions that may come up, my doctor or provider said they don't accept my insurance. So again, if your provider does not accept your insurance, if they're telling you that ahead of your appointment, again, I would encourage them to contact us. But if they, for some reason, push back on that, which again, they should not, you can contact us ahead of time. We'll reach out to them. We'll work it out to ensure that, again, you get to see your provider, you get to keep all of your same providers. And again, everything's worked out ahead of time. I can't find any facility hospitals that are in network. So as I mentioned, that MultiPlan is a physician and ancillary only. So it covers urgent cares, labs, your physicians, your specialists, anything that would be considered a facility, a hospital, or a surgery center or a rehabilitation center would be considered facilities. And there is no network for that. You can go to any network you'd like outside of Kaiser, and you would be able to then receive treatment there. So again, you were never going to be able to find a hospital on that MultiPlan site when you select physician and ancillary. You are allowed to go anywhere you like. Just know that we're going to review the claim on the back end and make sure that you're receiving that price protection. What if I receive a bill from my provider that the insurance company hasn't paid? So again, the insurance company more than likely has paid a portion that we deemed what's eligible. So when you receive your explanation of benefits, you might see a section that's called ineligible. And that's really where we found that that hospital overcharged you and overcharged the plan. And that's really how we're able to kind of control costs year over year and also make an impact on you as the member because you have deductibles, you have coinsurance. So instead of now paying your deductible or your coinsurance off of a $1,000 bill, you're only maybe getting it off a $300 bill. So we're directly saving you money. So when you receive a bill for any of those occasions that we deem something ineligible, that is not your responsibility. You want to make sure you're getting that in to Imagine 360 with all that information that's right there. There's a phone number, there's an email address. The easiest way is honestly to take a picture and send it. And we'll make sure that we step in. We obviously contact you, let you know that we're stepping in. We'll walk you through that, and you're provided a dedicated member service advocate, and they'll be able to walk you through that process. I have not received my ID card yet. So again, you'll want to go to Imagine 360. As I mentioned, you can get a temporary one or request one through the portal and through the app. But again, you want to reach out to that Imagine 360 and we'll make sure that you get an ID card. Next slide.
I can take it from here, Carlos. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So this is a resource list. Basically, anything that you would possibly need to call. There's the phone number, the email, the fax, or you could call me, Heather Peruta, or PBIT, and we can walk you through this as well. You could go to the next slide. Jenny, it's just a continuation. This is for Magellan RX information, and then payer matrix, which advocates on your behalf with drug manufacturers. I believe they get you some better deals on prescription drugs. And again, there's the website and the email and the phone numbers. We also offer custom quotes for whatever reason you wanted to get something outside of the trust. Here are some carriers that we work with, and we'd be happy to get you a custom quote. That's something you're interested in. We don't do Medicare here in this office, but we do have a referral. Her name is Susan Brown, and her contact information is there. Please use the code PIAG and make sure Susan knows that you're a PIAG member. Next. Okay, we're going to talk about our ancillary products now. So you probably know we offer vision, dental, life. We offer supplemental. We also offer employee paid coverages and benefits as well. We can go to the next slide. We'll start with vision. So I have Kristen on the phone. She'll be the one, I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll have Kristen on the line. She'll be talking about VSP. There's no benefit change and there's just a small rate increase. As far as IMED goes, currently there was a $5 exam fee and now there's no fee. Currently there was a lens fee for $15 and now it's $10. And then there's a small rate increase for IMED. And Kristen, you can take it from here.
Wonderful. Thank you. Hi, everybody. So I'm Kristen, obviously. I am your VSP Benefit Fair representative for today. So I wanted to thank you, first of all, for taking the time to learn more about your benefit offered by VSP. With VSP Vision Care, our goal is to help you see well and be well for a lifetime of good vision. So let's take a look at the benefits that are available to you. Next slide, please. So the next couple of slides are just going to discuss why you should enroll in VSP for vision care coverage. So let's have a look. Next slide, please. As a health-focused company, your well-being is at the core of everything we do. So with VSP, you're going to get convenient access to the personalized care you need with savings you can rely on. Next slide. Keep yourself healthy with a yearly eye exam from a VSP network doctor. Even if you have 20/20 vision, it's important to get an eye exam every year. You may wonder, why is that important? Why is a vision exam an important component in preventative care? It's because the eyes are the only place in the body that provides a non-invasive, unobstructed view of the blood vessels. So this allows the eye doctors the ability to detect signs, conditions like diabetes, diabetic retinopathy, high cholesterol, and hypertension. Regular eye exams can reduce the risk of diabetes, like diabetes-related vision problems, by about 95%. And a VSP well vision exam can reveal health conditions, even if you don't have any symptoms. So as you know, the faster you can resolve an issue, the more complete and successful healing and resolution you can have with any conditions. Next slide, please. This is a little overview of the benefits that are offered to you. As you know, you have two different plans, the standard plan and the premium plan. The main difference, well, first of all, similarity is that both plans allow you to get the yearly eye exam that I talked about the importance of. Then the main differences between the two plans will be frame allowance amounts As you can see, 150 under the standard plan, 200 under the premium plan, and then the allowance time. So under the standard plan, it's every 24 months you can get a new frame. Under the premium plan, it's every 12 months. And then if you're someone who uses contacts instead of glasses, you can see the difference in the allowance there as well. 150 for the standard plan and 200 for the premium plan. Next slide, please. So here's something called essential medical eye care. So with this part of our program, here is what's covered. You have fully covered retinal screening for members with diabetes who do not have diabetic eye disease. You have exams and services to treat immediate issues like pink eye and sudden changes in your vision. And then you have treatment options to monitor ongoing conditions like dry eye, diabetic eye disease, glaucoma, and more. This coverage is supplementary, and in most cases, your health insurance is going to be billed first, but you may be able to coordinate with your VSP benefits in order to help reduce out-of-pocket costs. If your VSP doctor doesn't participate with your medical insurance plan, then just make sure you reach out to us and we can see what we can do for you. And then next slide, please. Okay, so at VSP, our commitment to your well-being extends to your financial wellness as well. So members get access to exclusive member extras, up to $3,000 in savings on leading industry brands. Plus, VSP members always get an extra $20 to spend on featured frame brands. That way you get the low out-of-pocket costs your family needs. So under this category, the exclusive member extras include special deals on glasses, the extra $20 on the featured frame brands that I mentioned, up to 40% off lens enhancements. You can visit VSP.com to see additional savings on contacts, LASIK, diabetes care, hearing aids, and financing. We offer state and benefit plans that are differing. Brands and offers are subject to change and are different based on state and your individual plans. Next slide, please. So no matter where you're located, you have convenient access to a VSP provider. As a member, you can maximize your benefits when you visit what we call a premier program location. So if you notice this insignia on the screen, when you log into your account online, or if you go into a store, if you see that logo, you'll realize you're going to get more savings. This is really the way to maximize your benefit. So you get exclusive bonus offers available only at these locations, a wide variety of featured frame brands backed by a 1-year worry-free warranty in case your glasses are broken or damaged, which is always nice. Access to the latest in high definition technology, which is called Unity Digital Lenses. That's available at these locations. And then advanced eye exam technology like retinal imaging, all available at the VSP premier locations. Next slide, please. Okay, so here we have Iconic. This is a VSP-owned company, and it's the only website that seamlessly connects VSP vision benefits to your member's account. By applying your vision benefits, you'll see your savings in real time. So you can save time and money on quality eyewear with just a few clicks. So basically, you're going to connect your vision insurance to the website, select your product, and then you can upload your prescription, or you can provide your doctor's contact information and we can do that for you. Iconic offers a variety of well-known brands and contact lenses. You can choose from over 70 eyewear brands and over 1,600 styles. Next slide. There are more than 10,000 regional retail chain locations on the VSP network. Our retail chain providers include Costco, Optical, Walmart, Vision Center, Pearl Vision, Cohen's Fashion Optical, Wisconsin Vision, Heartland Vision, and RX Optical. There's a whole bunch more. Again, if you go to VSP.com, you can learn more about that as well. Next slide, please. Using your VSP benefit is easy. So once your plan is effective, you can create an account on VSP.com and review your personalized benefit information, and then easily search for an in-network doctor so you can find a provider that's right for you. Basically, you can put in your favorite zip code. It's going to pull up a whole bunch of different provider options, and you can just choose someone off that list. And then, like I said, don't forget, if you're really trying to maximize your benefit, see if you can find somebody that's in the premier program location. And then make an appointment with them. You don't need a card. They'll be able to look you up right in the system. However, if you're one of those people who really likes to have a card, you can print one from the website, but it is nice to know that you do not need one. And next slide, please. So this is our final slide. This just gives you our customer service phone number and our website. Once again, easy enough, vsp.com. So if you're already comfortable with this benefit, as was mentioned earlier, there are no plan changes. So hopefully this just reminded you of what you have available to you. But if you do have more specific questions, our customer service team at that 1-800 number would love to help you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you.
So we'll talk a little bit more about IMED. Here is a summary of benefits. You can follow, and it tells you about discounts and what the charge is for your copay, and if you're staying in network or out of network, your lens options. So you can review this. And then I believe the next slide is talking about, yeah, okay. So this is the next slide is a summary of benefits you get up to, it looks like $200 for frames with IMED as well. We don't have a rep from IMED, so I'm just reviewing this with you. Next screen. So here are the retail locations. Everybody's busy and may not be able to get in to see, go into the ophthalmologist. So here are some places that you can go outside of that. LensCrafter, Pearl Vision, Target, Sears, and more. Dental plan changes as of 12/1/2022. We have eliminated Cigna, and now we have Delta Dental DMO. A DMO, you only pay copays, no deductibles, there's no claim forms. It's a schedule of benefits. And if you're interested, we can send that information to you via email. Also, with the Advantage plan, we went from the EPO to the Home Advantage EPO. There was a charge for composite fillings. There is no longer a charge, and there's no charge for oral surgery. And then with our Humana PPO plan, we went from a $1,000 calendar year max to a $1,500 calendar year max. Next slide. So here's comparing a PPO to the Delta Care, which is the DMO. The benefits on the PPO are going to be a little bit richer. The Delta Care is the schedule plan that I was talking about, has no maximums, and the premium is going to be less expensive. And it's still a very good product. Next slide. I have Evie on the line from PBIT, and she's going to go over the life insurance product.
Yes, I am. Good afternoon to Georgia. Thank you for joining us. So I will make this as brief as possible, as painless as possible, just to tell you a little bit about the life insurance. So we continue to be able to offer both the basic life insurance to any employer, and the amounts of that can be as little as it goes by. You can make it as little as $6,000, as much as $50,000 per employee. And this is one of the two products that we do have that are employer sponsored, which means if you elect to offer a basic term life policy to your staff, it requires 100% employee participation because it's employer sponsored. So keep that in mind. And it's very inexpensive. It's only 38 cents per thousand. And again, it goes in $1,000 increments up to a maximum of $50,000. So that's a basic term life policy you can add onto your menu. Our brochure, you'll notice, has a certain set of values, but again, you can make it anywhere up to $50,000. So keep that in mind. If you haven't, this is only for employees who are full-time. And even if the employee is waiving all different coverages that you offer, like medical, dental, that employee still qualifies as long as they're a full-time employee working a minimum of 30 hours per week. They're eligible and can enroll on the basic term life insurance. The voluntary term life is also an opportunity that you can go ahead and add into your menu if you wish. The neat thing about voluntary term life is this is entirely employee sponsored. That means that the employee pays 100% of the premium via payroll deduction. And those come in the increments of $10,000 with a guaranteed issue of $120,000 for the employees, and a guaranteed issue of $25,000 for the spouses. If they wish to have that, that means no medical questions need to be answered up to those maximum amounts. Employees are able to elect a lot more, up to $500,000, as long as it does not exceed 10 times the annual salary. But any amount above the GI does require some medical questions to be answered and underwriting to approve. Same for the spouse. If they elect anything above the $25,000 guaranteed issued, then some medical questions need to be asked and underwriting needs to review and approve. Children, for voluntary term, they can elect you as the employee can elect anywhere between $5,000 face value or $10,000 for very minimal, less than a cup of coffee a day. So take advantage of that. Take a look at that if you have not adopted that. The guaranteed issue applies only to employers who are offering the voluntary term life for the first time, or for any, if you already offer it, for any employee coming on board. So for a new enrollee, that is who the guaranteed issue applies to. Okay, next slide. Employee Assistance Program. Another very inexpensive plan to add on to your menu and an added perk to your employees. This is a plan that is a household benefit for very minimal, as you can see, $5.47 a month. So when I do open enrollment meetings on site, I always tell people, you know, when you have, who doesn't have challenges in life? So instead of telling your coworker and then telling your coworker not to tell anybody else, and then by the afternoon everybody knows about it, the best way to do it is go and adopt this plan. The employees can call a professional who can assist them in the matter, whether it be marriage counseling, whether it be a child needing some counseling, anything under the sun that affects our daily living. This is what this program is for. It's really, really inexpensive, and it's a household benefit, which means anybody who lives in the house of that employee can pick up the phone, call, and get assistance, whether from anything you can imagine. Tax information, they need to find resources for adult care, anything anything you can imagine. They assist you when they connect you with professionals who can assist you with the matter. So that is, Employee Assistance Program. Think about it if you have not considered it yet. And again, this is another plan that if you offer it, it's 100% employer sponsored, therefore requires 100% employee participation, even if they waive everything else. Okay, next slide. All right, TASK. TASK provides a variety of benefits. One of the things that a lot of our members use, including ourselves, is the FSA program, Flexible Spending Account. So you're going to spend dollars out of your pocket for vision, for dental, for counseling, and you can go ahead and be a little conservative with your dollars. Well, basically, the employer decides whether they want to offer it or not. And if you do, the employee who enrolls basically makes a considerable amount calculation per year of what he or she spends on prescription medication, on anything to do with healthcare. And they put that dollar amount in the paper and give it to accounting, HR. Then the payroll deductions are done. The card is loaded. They get like an ATM card. Card is loaded with those dollars, and every time a person goes and seeks medical care, dental care, vision care, counseling, gets a prescription, they swipe the card, and that takes care of that. So I always tell people, we're going to pay for the services. Why not pay for it with pre-tax dollars? I think it makes sense. There's some tax savings both to the employer and to the employee. So something you may want to consider if you have not considered that, think about it. So you can do that through TASK. And it's just a very simple phone call. We can get you a quote, send it to you for your review, and then take it from there. Next slide, please. Portal. So if any of you who have joined us today have not yet registered on the portal, it is a good idea to do so. Now, if you say, you know what, I have too much on my hands, I don't have time for this, that's fine. We can continue to process everything for you. But in case you're not aware, we have a portal. You just basically register, you go online, you can enroll, you can terminate, you can do some changes. And when you do those, they're done in real time. So the moment you complete that via the portal, it's done in our system. Every Tuesday, we send the files to our carriers and they get the information that fast. So you can also renew on the portals. It's a very convenient way. So if any of you have not yet done so, it would be a good idea to do so. So if you need any assistance because you get stuck with something, just reach out to your relationship keeper and we'll be able to assist you with the process if you have any problems. But portal, it's a beautiful thing. So take advantage of it. Next slide. All right, so there we go. I just talked about that. The renewal part. Now for everybody who is on the call, excuse me, important to know, some people ask, well, Evie, I'm not going to make any changes this year, so I don't need to do anything. Actually, you do. The only thing we ask you to do is to complete your participation agreement, whether you do it on the portal or on paper. Please complete that. If you're making no changes, then it's a simple thing because everything's highlighted for you. The participation agreement has been pre-filled for you. If you got the PDF off the portal, you see it there. You also should have gotten your mail copy or getting it soon if you haven't. And then there's a pre-filled copy in there. So all you do is just, if you're making absolutely no changes, you sign it, you date it, send it in via the secure portal, fax it in or email it to us and we'll process it for you. But if you're a portal guru and you're doing your renewal on the portal, then you can do it all on the portal. And let's just not forget that scary $35 late fee. We don't like to apply that at all. Just keep that in mind, please. We, as much as possible, we try not to do that. So just if we get our payments in time, everything should be good to go. Okay, next slide. And there is our PA. So when you look at the portal, it might look a little different on the portal, but in the actual yearbook that you either downloaded or that you receive in the mail, this is what it looks like. Participation agreement. So section number 1 will be filled in already with all of your information if you're currently participating employer with PIBT. But if you're not, this is what it looks like. We just need you to complete just section number 1. Next page, please. And did you read through all this mumbo jumbo? You sign your date. Next page, please. And that's pretty much it. And so you want to just go ahead and give us a call if there's any questions. I know that this world of benefits can be French at times if you don't do this every day. We completely understand. But remember that we're here to make your life as easy as possible. So we're just an email or phone call away, whether it be Heather with local contact or us here in California. All right. So
Thank you, Evie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to the portal. It's very, very user friendly. I could tell that somebody made this that works in the insurance industry because it's super, super easy. You can also pull your 2022, 2023 yearbooks, unless there's composite rates, which Evie, I believe, is contacting people directly about that. So, as I understand it, the yearbooks won't be out until the end of the month be mailed. So you want to get a head start, you can sign into the portal. And like Evie said, if you need any help with that, we're happy to help you. And we do need those forms to be either done again on the portal or sent to us via email or fax. And then there's the dates of the changes. Next slide. I have Annette on the line. We both work together on our PNC part here. Annette's going to talk a little bit about what we offer, but again, both of us can help you with this. We'd love the opportunity to review your policies to make sure you're insured. Right. Annette, you on the line?
Yes, I am. Hi, I just wanted to put a little note out there. Thank Heather for a wonderful presentation today. And remind everyone that besides health insurance, we also offer a large array of different business products for you. Because we're considering we have business insurance, we have cyber liability, auto insurance, crime. Oh, there are a lot of other benefits that we have for you as a member. And we can definitely go ahead and look at your insurance program as it stands now and give you some advice as to what you may need, or just shop it to see if you're getting the best rates on your program as it stands. So just a little shout out. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I know everyone's taking in a lot of information. So I just wanted to let you know that we are available if you need any help. And if you need any help with the health insurance, we're here for that as well. So thank you, everyone. Have a great
Thank you,
open
Annette.
enrollment.
We're going to try to play this slide. This is, I have Philip on the line. He is our dedicated AFLAC representative. We'll just listen to the slide. All right, Philip, do you want to just talk a little bit about what AFLAC offers?
Yep, sure will. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be here and work with PIAG and the members. I think we started in 2016. It is amazing how time flies, but it's been fun. It's always a pleasure. So I'm obviously a representative for AFLAC. And so let me tell you what AFLAC is not. Okay. AFLAC is not major medical insurance. Okay. There's a big confusion there a lot of times. Heather and her team has went over a lot of the major medical plans that pay the doctors and hospitals. Okay. Major medical does not pay 100% of your medical costs. You still have copays and you have deductibles. Major medical does not help with loss of income either. What do I mean by that? If you're in an accident, or you're diagnosed with an illness, sick, out of work for several days, several weeks, several months, you got medical bills coming in. You got loss of income, right? That means no paycheck. You still got to pay your rent, your mortgage, car payment, put food on the table, gas in the tank. Well, that's where AFLAC helps the most, because we pay you, the policy owner, the employee, a cash benefit, and then use that money however you want to pay towards what your major medical doesn't pay. It pays towards any loss of income, pay your bills, utility, food, gas. It's yours, right? We want to provide you with that peace of mind to know that if anything happens, anything to you or anybody in your family, financially, everything's going to be okay. That's one less thing to worry about. From an employer's perspective, we want to enhance your benefits package. You know, the whole goal is to help with employee retention. You offer your employees a competitive salary, a competitive benefits package to include major medical, supplement, life insurance. It's statistically proven, you know, the more you invest in your employees, the more money you're going to get back out of them in the long run. They're going to stay with you longer. Okay. So as far as the products go this year, not a lot of changes. We're still offering the core AFLAC products. What I call it is the core catastrophic event plan. Okay. Core meaning the same products that's been offered since AFLAC started in 1955, when the Amos brothers were going around door to door in Columbus, Georgia, selling accident and cancer policies. Catastrophic meaning something that could happen to you or somebody in your family to cause financial bankruptcy. Okay. That is accident, heart attack, stroke, and cancer. Okay. So you have an employee and they're individual and they want to sign up for all three of them. Okay. He or she can sign up for all three coverages for about $16 to $18 a week, depending on their age. Okay. Now, if you do want to add spouse and dependents, it can go up, but just for individual coverage, it's $16 to $18 a week for that core catastrophic event plan. So basically you figure what, an hour a week for most employees, if that, So it's very affordable, a lot of peace of mind, a lot of value for the employer and the employee that they're getting a discounted payroll product from their employer, right? That you're going to payroll deduct. The other very popular plan that we have is our short-term disability. Okay, short-term disability is guaranteed issued. So regardless of your pre-existing conditions, medications, you can get coverage. Okay, short-term disability is government regulated. Okay, the government will allow us to pay you up to 60% of your salary if out due to accident or illness. Okay, illness to include COVID-19. We filed a ton of these claims over the last year and a half. You can only imagine, right? So, but we have paid them. We do pay them. We're still paying them. It's an age-banded product. So, and it's based on your salary. So let me give you a couple of examples. If you have an employee that makes $30,000 annually, then he or she would qualify for $1,500 a month from Aflac, and that's a cash benefit. There is a 7-day elimination period, so we'll start to pay on that 8th day, and we would pay up to 3 months or 6 months. The employee would choose that benefit period. All right. If you have an employee that makes $40,000 a year, they're going to qualify for $2,000 a month. $60,000 a year is $3,000 a month, and $80,000 is $4,000 a month. Okay, the claim process on the disability is very simple. It's a 3-page claim form. You would fill out page 1. The employee would fill out page 1, employer page 2, the doctor page 3. Well, let's say if your employee qualifies for $2,000 a month, once we fill out that 3-page claim form and send it in, Aflac's going to pay 2 months in advance. We're going to send that employee a check for $4,000. They use that money to live off of until they get back to work and start drawing their full paycheck again. Now, if they're still out after 2 months and can't return, we would file for an extension, and it's the same process. It's a 3-page claim form. Very easy. We pay it in advance. You're not having to file a weekly or bi-weekly or monthly claim. So we do pay in advance. So it's a very simple claim process. All right. Cost on the disability, like I said, it's age banded and it depends on your salary. Just know for your employees, if they wanted to add short-term disability, it's going to range anywhere from just say $10 to $20 a week for the most part for your average employee. Some may be a little more, some a little less, just depending on their age and their salary. But about an hourly wage a week is about what we average on the disability. So it's still very affordable, a lot of value, a lot of peace of mind. I mentioned the claim process, and I always talk about this. If I've ever met with you, I stand behind Aflac's claim process. I've seen it happen. It's fast, it's quick. If it's an accident, if it's a heart attack, stroke, if it's a cancer claim, if it's a disability, once we get all the information submitted, if the employee uses their smart claim portal on the computer, from the app on their phone, or they can send it to me at my office. However we get documents submitted, claims are processed and paid within 5 to 7 business days. And we would direct deposit the money straight into the employee's accounts. That is it. Any questions, you can contact me directly. My number's on the screen, or send me an email, and I will reach out to you and schedule an appointment and tell you more about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Joe on the line. He's going to talk about what he does with 401ks. He works with Diversified. Are you on the line, Joe?
I am online. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was muted there. So I'm Joe Tribulo with the Printers 401k program. My company name is actually Diversified Financial Advisors. So we help manage the Printers 401k program. And we've been managing the program for about 30 years. The program is a multiple employer aggregation program. And so what it's really designed to do is provide our members with better service, better investment access, and better pricing. So you have a more competitive 401k program that maybe some of the larger companies are able to offer their employees. So how that kind of works is sort of when we created the program, we were told that business owners that they wanted to take care of 3 things. They didn't want to focus. They wanted to focus on their business. They didn't want to focus on being a 401k program expert. They didn't want to be at risk by offering a 401k program. They wanted to transfer that fiduciary liability to third parties, and that's where we come in, is that we are the responsible party for your plan investments, for your administration of your 401k program. And then the third thing is that, they wanted to make sure that the plan was affordable for them. And so, we pulled all these plans together to create this multiple employer aggregation program. And so now, rather than when companies are coming to the marketplace with, like $1 million or $2 million in their 401k program, now we're coming to the marketplace with $200 million. And so we're, again, able to get that better pricing, better service for our members. How the results work for it. Because a lot of times we come across companies that their 401k programs aren't very successful. And this company here is just outside of Atlanta. It's a 32 participant plan. And, they had a plan participation. They had 34% of their people that were participating in the 401k program. And so if they have that low participation level in the plan, that meant that the owners of the company weren't able to set aside money that they needed to for their retirement program. And so when we came and met with the employees, we were able to raise that from 34 to 69%. And then more importantly, we're able to raise their average deferral rates for their plans from that 1.02%. We were able to bring that up to 6.3%. And again, that's an extreme example, but it does just point out that, when people are communicated to, meaning your employees, and we communicate to those employees, people are apt to save more money. By the way, this company match that they provided for the plan was the same, didn't change. They were still matching 25 cents on the dollar to 6%. But now we had more people taking advantage of the full matching contribution. So you have more employees, and the owners are able to contribute more towards their retirement, and then should provide for a better environment for the company overall. We were also able to help this company reduce their overall expenses in this example by 22%, and then also through our investment process, we're able to demonstrate better investment returns for 1, 3, and 5 year average returns. If you'd like or interested in, I can provide a comparison for you to kind of show you, how your cost and investments compare to the 401k program, and we kind of dive in a little bit to your, participation rates and your average deferrals to see how we might be able to help enhance your 401k program. But we're pretty consistently able to help companies out in those 4 areas. We do make it an easy plan transition. So basically, the company needs to assign us as the responsible plan fiduciary, and then we'll work with your current providers to help enhance your plan. And we don't have any setup fees to, provide you with the comparisons or to onboard you onto our platform. If it's something that we could help you with, or I can help you with, please contact me. My contact information is at the top of the slide deck there. Really appreciate you guys' time today, and look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Philip. So some questions, open enrollment questions. I think Evie went over this already. I want to keep my current plan. What do I do? So we already talked about it. Complete the 2022 participation agreement online, or you can email it to me, or you can fax it. How do I know which plan is best for me? I'm big with lists. I make a list of healthcare services you used last year, including your prescriptions that you filled on a regular basis, kind of your out-of-pocket expenses. If I want to change plans, can I keep my current doctor? That would probably be better if you looked online or even called your doctor. So you could either go to Kaiser to make sure your doctor's in network, or you could call them, and the same thing with multi-plan as well. Next slide, please. All right, so I do see that we did receive some questions through chat. I guess we can go through those right now. So the first, okay, I guess the first one, they can't hear the video. Well, that's the first 3. So if we should have an employee that is turning 65 during the plan year and will be enrolled in Medicare, does the current insurance stay in force as a supplement, or how does this work? Evie, are you on the line?
I am.
Okay,
So the employee who is 65 or turning 65 so they have options. They can stay on the employer sponsor plan and also enroll on Medicare. At that point, because Medicare views us, PIBT, as a large employer, then Medicare becomes secondary, employer plan becomes primary. That's how they pay the claims. So the employee can stay on the employer sponsor plan and Medicare. It's just who pays first and who pays secondary. Or the employee can remove himself or herself from the employer sponsor plan and be only on Medicare. So it depends what they want to do. So I guess it will be a little bit of homework doing as far as how much is it costing me staying on the employer sponsor plan, payroll deduction wise, and how much is it going to cost me when I pay my Medicare premium.
thank you, Evie.
Mhm.
Okay, and Evie also let me know that the yearbooks were mailed, I believe she said at the end of last week. So I believe most of the people should have already received those or should be getting them by the beginning of next week, I would say at the
Yes,
latest.
depending on how fast our friends at the U.S. Post Office moves, yeah, some people should have them now or maybe getting them soon. So just remember, if you don't have your copy yet and you want to take a sneak peek, the portal is the way to go until you get your hard copy.
Okay, next question. Someone turning 65 may be better off paying Part B Medicare. Oh, it looks like Philip may have wrote this in here under the chat. Someone turning 65 may be better off paying Part B Medicare $164 a month in January and signing up for a zero premium Part C Medicare plan. Net cost $164 a month with copays. Sounds good to me. Probably want to talk to maybe the Medicare person about that. The next question is, how does the medication Part D work? Is that on one of our plans or is that for
No,
Medicare?
that's a Medicare question.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Do you know enough about it, Evie? I don't know enough about
Just
Medicare
a tad, other than that is so Medicare is Part A, which is the hospital, Part B, which is the professional services. For me to remember what I did is I think of the A as a roof of a facility, right? That's the hospital. And the B, I think of it as a doctor, a chubby doctor with a belt. So that's provider. And then D is for prescription medication. So it could be with whatever carrier they decide to do that with, is just to cover their prescription medication at a particular copay structure. So it all depends who they pair that with.
Okay, if you had any additional questions, Shrew, you could let us know. I think this is Philip responding to that. I'm going to go to the next question. Using multi-plan website, when searching for a provider, we should select multi-plan network, then practitioner and ancillary. We formerly selected PHCS network, which I misread. That is the new charge. Thanks.
So I'll step in if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So what's happening is we currently, on the plan that ends 11/30, we're currently using the PHCS link to do provider searches. Effective December 1, it'll be the multi-plan that Carlos was sharing with us earlier. So for right now, up to November, continue to use PHCS. And as of December 1 and forward, we just lock in the multi-plan.
Okay.
Okay.
Next question. So when do we get our renewal information? I believe that you should be, that question's from Charlie. You should be getting it, I would say, by the beginning of next week. You think that's accurate, Evie? You said there
if some of the people, if the person asking that question is one that has not received their mail copy, should be very soon. But if that person would like to consider registering on the portal to download a copy, that would be amazing as well. And we're happy to help.
Okay, great. Okay, no volume. Okay, so somebody said they already received their yearbook in the mail. Am I okay to use it as there's a possibility it will be different from what is shown on the portal?
So your hard copy that you get in the mail is a replica of what you can download on the portal. So they're two of the same.
Okay, same thing. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, and then they want the information for Susan Brown. I'm gonna type that into the chat. Is there anybody else that has any questions? If there's still time, I can stay on a couple more minutes to see if anybody has more questions.
Now, one of the things, if you don't mind me, I wanted to just reiterate to just put on your calendars, everyone, the deadlines. Very, very important. Everything we receive up to November, is it 21? And you'll see it on our email signatures. They will be processed December 1. Some of those auto changes that Heather talked about earlier, like the Cigna migrating over to Delta Dental, the Humana EPO migrating to the other, and the Humana $1,000 plan migrating to the 15, those are automatic changes that will happen 12/1. But if you submit any changes up to the December deadline, just remember those will be processed December 1. Then you have a second window of opportunity. Well, that was November, sorry. So the first deadline is November 22nd. The next deadline is December. It's about Christmas time or so. So get your changes in as soon as possible, because the second window, any changes that happen on the second window will be processed effective January 1 of 2023. So very important, please, to audit carefully your December invoice, because if you submitted any changes, you should be seeing them in there before that deadline for December. And if you submit any changes that should be effective January 1, you will see those in your January invoice. So as soon as you audit your invoice and you notice an error, let us know right away, because they're time sensitive. And the sooner you let us know, the sooner we can correct the issue or process a particular thing that maybe you missed, what have you. So just keep in your calendar those key deadlines, please.
Okay, there's another question. Can you apply some changes in time for 12/1 and someone else's change in time for 1/1/23? Do you prefer that all changes be at the same time? I think that's what that question means.
Employers have the prerogative. You can process some changes effective 12/1, and if there was a late straggler and didn't give it to you by the first deadline, yeah, you can submit them to be effective the second window, January 1. But if better for you administratively as well, if you can send them all at once. But don't wait till you compile all of them. As you get them, just send them in so that you don't miss them, and we get them on time so that we can process them for you.
Okay. Evie, did you want to talk about any like change forms or anything like that? I didn't have that in the presentation.
There's no really changes to any of the forms. The one thing to keep in mind, let me put on my camera so people can see my face. There we go. Okay. The one thing to keep in mind is you have the termination forms. One thing I'd like to make sure that everybody remembers is whenever you have a termination of employment, remember that it's very, very important for you to stay COPA compliant and submit those to us in a timely manner, the month of the event. Because when you wait, it becomes a little not pretty. So remember that if you have a termination of employment or reduction of hours, get that employee termination form submitted or process it on the portal. So that is one of the forms you will be needing. Employee enrollment forms. The moment you submit your participation agreement and it's processed in our system, we have the ability to download pre-filled applications, meaning it has all the information of the employee, the current plans they're enrolled on, and we can easily email them secure to you so you can distribute them to the employees, and all they have to do is check boxes of stay the same, or I want to make a change, signature and date, give it to you, and then you submit it to us. So that they don't have to fill every single thing out. We have the ability to do that, but once your participation agreement is received and processed. When you submit your participation, if you're doing changes, please allow, especially during fourth quarter, the happiest time of the year, it gets a little busy, so allow at least 2 to 3 days for that to process. And then once that is done, then again, you can go ahead and reach out to your relationship keeper and ask, may I please have a copy, a PDF copy of my pre-filled applications? And we'll be happy to do that for you. Now, imperative for you employers to make sure that you have an enrollment form in every employee file. and whether they're enrolling or not, okay? If they're staying the same, it's very simple. I'm staying the same, sign and signature, and then you put it on their file. This way you protect yourself. And then in the future, there's no opportunity for an employee saying, well, Mr. Employer, you never told me there was these options, or somebody not enrolling. I was never given these options. So you always want to make sure you have an application or a declination on an employee file and send those to us as well. When you receive your invoices, the backside of your invoice, closer to the remittance page, you should have a list of employees who have declined everything listed there. If you have employees that are full-time and are not enrolled, they should be showing there because you should have a declination on file. If they don't show there, it's important that you make sure you collect a declination and get that to us so that you can see that declination on your invoice every month. Let's see what else. If anybody has paid attention to that last piece, the back part of the invoice, you also will see any employees listed that have dependent children that are reaching their max age, their age 26. So that you know and let the employee know, hey, by the way, in case you forgot, you know, you have a dependent coming up of aging out of the plan. What happens also when the dependent ages out of the plan, we will send information to the employee's home address advising of that as well. But it's important in case for you to keep an eye on that, just in case, to keep your employees aware of that. Let me see, what else could I say?
We have a couple more questions, Evie.
Okay.
Then maybe you'll remember. Do you have info that I can send out to our employees showing the changes to the plans and all options available to them so they can review and let me know what they would like to request, any changes?
Yes. So when you submit your participation agreement, it is received and processed, and then that triggers an email to your relationship keeper that has been received and processed. The relationship keeper will generate a plan comparison. So that is a menu of the plans that you elected to offer with a blank enrollment form with the rate information will be emailed to the contact that we have in the system. So yes, you will be getting one of those as soon as your participation agreement is received, so you can distribute to your employees either manually or via email. So yes, you will get that available as soon as the PAs are received and processed.
Fantastic. Thanks, Evie. I think there is a couple additional questions. Where can I find information about the benefits with BSP? We're going to put the presentation and some other things on the website. I'd be happy to put that information on there.
Yeah. So we have them on the portal on the website, as well as in your yearbook. You'll see a summary is there in there as well.
Okay, great. One more, I think there's a couple more. Will our new information have an explanation of the new plans that are replacing the old plan for each employee? I think we just discussed that.
Yes, Inés, as we say in Spanish.
Okay. Yes, we all love Evie. Somebody wrote in here, she just answered the question above. We love her. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? We can wait a couple of more minutes.
Oh, one of the things I wanted to mention, pardon me for interrupting, Heather. Important for you to, for all of you who offer Kaiser, any of the Kaiser plans, also have a rider that we added on there. It's a hardware rider for frames and lenses through IMED. So basically, any member enrolled on any Kaiser plan and their dependents have access to this. They go to Kaiser for the eye exam. They take the prescription outside of Kaiser to any IMED inside provider. Commercial names that we mentioned earlier, Sears, Target, Provision. The member goes there. If they don't have their IMED ID card with them, that's okay. As long as they can remember their name and social, they say, my name is so-and-so, social so-and-so, and I am an IMED member. I'd like to fill this prescription, please. The provider will look up the member information. If the member has not accessed care in the last 12 months, the prescription gets filled. The first $150 taken care of by IMED. The balance will be paid by the member with a 20% discount. So if the glasses are $100, taken care of, nothing out of pocket. If the glasses are Gucci, Gabbana, what are they, Louis Vuitton, you can do that. Just remember the benefit is 150. The balance you pay with a 20% discount. That's once every 12 months for you, for your spouse, for your children, as long as they are enrolled on Kaiser. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Not in Kaiser facility, but outside of Kaiser. It's just hardware. Now, if you decide you want to get your blue eyes or your hazel eyes, you want contact lenses, you can do that. But you will pay for that fee because the sitting fee is different. The procedure is different. So you can go there or anywhere else that is more cost effective, get your contact lens prescription, repeat the same process to fill the prescription. The only difference is that your discount above 150 will be 15%. Okay, so once every 12 months. So just FYI, in case you're not aware, or just a reminder.
That's good information. Thank you, Evie.
You're
So it doesn't look like there's any more questions. Myself, Evie, and her staff, we're all happy to help you. If you wanted to set up, you could just call us, or if you wanted to set up an individual meeting with us, we'll put that information on the website. I believe my email's in there a couple of times. And Evie, I don't know if you have access to the chat, if you want to throw your email in there as well.
Sure.
But we are here to help everybody to make this as easy as possible. And we thank everybody. John, did you have anything else?
Hey, Heather, sorry, I was unmuting. No, great job. I just want to thank you for leading the presentation today. Thank you, Annette. Also to our partners who presented today. Really appreciate you all taking the time to jump on and help our members understand the health options they have. So yeah, that was basically it. We'll let everybody get back to their day.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.